Welcome to the today's session on serial mediation using process macros in SPSS. So in this session, we will learn what is serial mediation is all about and how to perform a serial mediation using process macros in SPSS. Let's start. So what is mediation is all about? Mediation model is a type of statistical model which is used to understand the mechanism through which an independent variable influences a dependent variable via a third variable known as mediator. The idea is that the independent variable affects the mediator, which in turn affects the dependent variable. This can help researcher understand not just whether a relationship exists between the variables, but also how and why it exists. So let us talk about some basic concepts in mediations. The first one is the independent variable, the variable that is hypothesized to influence the dependent variable either directly or indirectly through the mediators. Second one is the dependent variable, the outcome variable that is influenced by the independent variable either directly or through the mediator. And the next one is the mediator, the variable that explains the process or mechanism through which the independent variable influences the dependent variable. So it serves as an intermediary steps in the causal chain. And next one is direct effect, which is the effect of the independent variable on the dependent variable that is not mediated by the mediator. And this is the relationship between independent variable and dependent variable when the mediator is not considered. And next one is the indirect effect, that is your mediated effect. So the effect of the independent variable on the dependent variable that is transmitted through the mediator. So this is the path from independent variable to mediator to dependent variable. And the last one is total effect. So the overall effect of the independent variable on the dependent variable, which is the sum of the direct and indirect effect. So next we'll talk about various types of mediation effect. So in general, we have two types of effect. The first one is total effect and the second one is direct and indirect effect. So in total effect, as we can see, the relationship between the x and y. So how x is affecting y in the absence of any mediator. So beta 1 represents the strength of relationship between x and y, that is between dependent variable and independent variable. This is called total effect. And the next one is the direct and indirect effect. So the relationship from x to m and m to y is called indirect effect, and relationship between x and y in the presence of mediator, the strength of x, the efficacy of x and y in the presence of mediator, that is gamma 1, this will represent the direct effect. So now let us consider the various steps which are involved in the mediation process. The step 1 is to check the total effect of x and y. If it is significant, then only we are supposed to proceed further. Step 2, we have to check the indirect effect of x on y through m. So if it is found to be significant, it means the mediation effect of m exists between x and y. The third step is to check the direct effect of x and y, which is in the presence of the mediator m. So if direct effect is found to be significant, then we can say it is there exists a partial mediation. And if it is insignificant, then we can say there is a full mediation effect. The step 4 is to calculate the strength of mediation by calculating the VAF, which stands for variance accounted for. And we can find out this VAF by dividing indirect effect by total effect. So we have various types of statistical methods also, such as Barron and Canny's steps, Sobel's test, and bootstrappings are commonly used to test the mediation effect. So here we have got the simple mediation model, as we can see, independent variable x to mediator variable m to dependent variable y, and the path A, which represents the relationship between x and m, and path B, which shows the strength of relationship between m and y, and path C dash, which shows the direct effect. So here we have got the serial mediation model. So in serial mediation model, we have more than one mediators. So we have got more than one mediator, and we have to see how this mediations serially affects the dependent variable. So in our case, the relationship goes from x to m1, m1 to m2, m2 to y. So let us consider a small example. Say we want to examine if the construct emotional intelligence has an indirect effect through coping ability C and interpersonal relationship IR on wellness. So if you can see the model, we have EI, C, IR and W. So EI to C, C to IR, IR to W. This relationship is a serial mediation relationship. So we want to verify whether there is an existence of serial mediation effect in this model or not. So the indirect effect of the emotional intelligence on wellness through coping is given by A1 into B1. As we can see, the relationship between EI to C and C to W. This is the indirect effect which is given by A1 and B1. An indirect effect of emotional intelligence on wellness through IR, if we consider, so this is given by A2 into B2. So before we proceed further, let's have a look on the example, and we'll try to perform this using the SPSS. So we have got a data set in front of us, and data set contains total 766 data points. So let us quickly move to the SPSS process macros. So we go to analyze, regression, and we go to the process macros and click on this. So we have got a new window in front of us. We can see on the right hand side there are various options are there: y variable, x variable, mediators and covariates. So what we need to do is, y variable is our dependent variable. So we simply need to enter the dependent variable in y variable column, and we have to enter the x variable. X variable is our EI, that is our emotional intelligence, and we have to enter both the mediators one by one. As we can see, we have two types of mediators. One is coping ability and other one is interpersonal relationship. Make sure that we should enter the mediator in sequence as we have entered in the model. So as we can see in the model, we have if you can see, the first is the C, which is coping ability, and second one is IR. So in the same sequence, we need to enter the mediators one by one. So first one is your coping, and the second one is your interpersonal relationship. We enter in the column one by one. And now we go to the options, and we simply check show total effect model and standardized effect, and there is no need to check any other options. Click continue, and now we have to go to the model number. Make sure that we should select model number 6. Model number 6, why? Because in the Hayes process we had different model number for the different types of categories. So in the serial mediation with two mediators, the model number we have to select is number 6, and what we need to do is simply click OK after that, and the software will give you the required analysis part. So for your better understanding, what I have done is I've taken all the output in PPT in the presentation format for your better understanding. So let us go to the outputs one by one now. So this is, I have already shown you how to perform this analysis. So after clicking OK, the system will give you the output. So let us talk about the output interpretations one by one. So in the output, the first column which we can see, it will talk about the model number. So as we already spoken, our model number is model 6, Y is wellness, X is EI, emotional intelligence, M1 is coping, first coping variable which we have entered, and M2 is the second coping variable, that is interpersonal relationship, and total sample size is 766. Next, we'll talk about the other interpretations. If we see, the model summary provides the summary of R, R square, F statistics, and P values for the overall models, as we can see. So the model output for each dependent variable is also presented. So we can see the first dependent variable is coping, as we can see in the model, and the second dependent variable is interpersonal relationship. So the output will give the relationship of independent and dependent variable individually. So the first outcome variable is coping. So we can see the EI has a significant impact on coping. As we can see, the EI, emotional intelligence, has significant impact. It is, the coefficient is found to be 0.5825, and it is found to be significant as p value is less than 0.05. So this is your path A1. And the second outcome variable is IR, that is interpersonal relationship, and EI has a significant impact on IR. As we can see, EI effect on IR, and the relationship is found to be, beta coefficient is found to be 0.4140, and this relationship is also found to be statistically significant, which is less than 0.05, and this is our path 2, A2. And third relationship is coping has a significant impact on IR. As we can see, the third relationship is coping has significant impact on IR, and the beta coefficient is found to be 0.5541, and T statistics is 18.7276, and again it is found to be significant. So this is our path D. Now we'll talk about the next path, that is path C dash. So EI has a significant impact on wellness. As we can see, the in beta coefficient of emotional intelligence on wellness. This is our path C dash. So the beta coefficient is found to be 0.4686, and the T statistics is 10.2073, and again it is found to be significant. And moreover, coping has a significant impact on wellness as well. As we can see, the beta coefficient is found to be 0.1936, which is significant, and moreover the p value is found to be which is less than 0.05, and this is our path B1. And similarly, interpersonal relationship has a significant impact on wellness, and beta coefficient is found to be 0.2705, and T statistics is 5.7627, and the p value is found to be significant. This is our path B2. So now let's have a look on the various model summary. The first one is the total effect. So the output also provides us the total effect model. As we can see, the outcome variable is wellness, and total effect is what, as we have already told, discussed. Total effect is the impact of EI, that is our independent variable, on dependent variable in the absence of any mediator. So if we can see the beta coefficient, that is 0.7807, and T statistics is found to be 20.7862, and the p value is significant. So we can say the total effect is found to be significant. So now once we have found this relationship is significant, then only we are supposed to proceed further. If this effect is found to be insignificant, then we have to stop the further process. So our software also gives us the total effect, direct and indirect effect table. So let us discuss the table one by one. So as you can see, if you go down in the table, the software gives us indirect effect keys. So what is this key is all about? So we have three types of indirect effect over here: indirect effect 1, indirect effect 2, and indirect effect 3. If we check the model, which we have already discussed, if you go back to the model, we can see the indirect effect 1 is your EI to coping to wellness, and indirect effect 2 is EI to IR to wellness, and indirect effect 3, that is EI to coping to IR to wellness. So in our case, we are trying to test the serial mediation effect. So we are more interested in this third option, indirect effect 3. So let us see the results one by one. So indirect effect 1, as we can see, EI to C to W. This relationship is given by A1 into beta 1, and it is found to be significant. That is, beta coefficient is found to be significant, 0.1128. And the second one is the indirect effect 2, that is EI to IR to W, and that is given by A2 into B2, and it is found to be beta coefficient is found to be 0.1120, and it is also found to be significant. And from where we can see the significant, we can see the significant effect from here, that is LLCI and ULCI, upper limit and lower limit confidence interval. As we can see, there is no zero exists in between, so we can say these effects are significant. And the third relationship is indirect effect 3, that is EI to C to IR to W, that is A1 into D into B2, and this effect is also found to be significant. This is your indirect effect, that is 0.80873, and direct effect is found to be 0.4686, as we can see the result over here. The direct effect of X on Y, the software also gives you the direct effect here, 0.4686, and the T statistics is found to be 10.2073, and this relationship is statistically significant. And also, if we talk about the formula, that is total effect is given by sum of all indirect effect plus direct effect. So we have got direct effect here as 0.4685, and indirect effect we can add all these three effects and add this to your direct effect, that is 0.4686 plus 0.1128 plus 0.1120 plus 0.0873. These are the indirect effects. So once we add up all these things, direct effect and indirect effect, we'll get the total effect, that is 0.7807. So we can also see the total effect over here. So we can also cross check by adding these two variables. We can always arrive at this particular thing. So this is how we calculate the total effect, and we can check the direct effect and indirect effect of the serial mediation effect. So now in our case, since all the indirect effect was found to be significant, so hence we can say that there exists a mediation effect. So also there exists a partial mediation, as in our case the direct effect was also found to be significant. So what happens if direct effect is insignificant, say the p-value is greater than 0.05? So in such case, if the direct effect is insignificant, the mediation effect does exist, but it is called full mediation. Okay, so moreover, in our case, all the paths are found to be positive. So in that case, we can also say that in our case, a complementary mediation exists, since all the beta coefficients are found to be positive. So now let's look at the interpretation part. So how to interpret our results for the thesis purpose or writing research paper. So this is how we can make the interpretation. The study access the serial mediation effect of coping and interpersonal relationship between the EI and wellness, and the result shows that there exists a significant indirect effect of EI on wellness, that is beta is equal to 0.0873 and T statistics is equal to 4.69. And moreover, the direct effect of EI on wellness in the presence of the mediator was found to be significant, that is beta is equal to 0.4686 and P is less than 0.001. Hence, there exists a partial mediation effect in the present model. So this is how we interpret our serial mediation model. And if you want to represent the data in the tabular form, this is how we present the tabular data. I hope this video was useful for you. Thanks for watching.